All right, team, welcome back. It's your boy Dame. We're here. We're back. We're doing another savage ass niggas in anime. I don't know. That's what we're going to keep calling it. I got a lot of love on the last video, and I appreciate everybody for liking, commenting. Anybody who viewed, you're an OG. I appreciate you. So I figured let's get another one out pretty quick. And so without further ado, let's hop right on into it. And on this episode, in savage ass niggas in anime, we got this nigga Killua. This little ass nigga is a menace. He will end your life without you even knowing. This dude might look small, but he literally has a mode called Godspeed. Are we kidding me? That shit is so cold. So let's get right into the crazy shit, huh? And so we pull up to this blimp where we see Killua and Gong attempting to take the ball away from this old man. This old man's kind of cold. He like that. Killua kicks the shit out of this man and runs off with his shin hurting. The old man tells him, if I was a regular nigga, that would have hurt, but I ain't regular. And so we see Killua walking away pissed, right? And we see two dudes bump into him. He walks by and lets it go, but these dudes run up to him and in an instant decapitates both of them for bumping into him. This little nigga does not care. As he's walking away, he's happy as shit. He is a killer. He is the assassin. This nigga radiates Black Air Force energy. This is the co-protagonist. Like, he's going around just murdering motherfuckers. They always talk about this nigga being a demon of an assassin, but damn. So now we're at the second part of this hunter exam. We meet this guy called the dissector. This big Escanor looking ass nigga. He's talking heavy, like he's about to run Killua's pockets. He's talking so heavy, they both agree to a death match. As this nigga is still talking, you see Killua go cold. And all of a sudden, he's behind him, and all you hear is this nigga ripped his heart out while he was still standing there. This nigga turned so soft as soon as his heart was out of his body. He's walking towards him. Give it back. Give it back. What do you mean, give it back? It's already out of your body. You gonna die, pimp. And so as he falls over, we see Killua bend down and give him his heart back as he's lying there dead. You really don't give a fuck, do you, little nigga? He's murdering motherfuckers with his bare hands. And so now a little bit down the road, Killua ends up running into his brother. And this nigga's name was like New Cracker or something, like the wildest name, and he had the weirdest look. And you see him pull out all these pins in his face and his forehead, and he looks like that nigga Eren Yeager. And so he starts talking to Killua and basically turns this nigga into a bitch. And so he tells Killua, you are just an assassin. Fuck that nigga gone. You cannot make friends. He literally tells him you don't deserve friends. And so in this spell, genjutsu, whatever he used, Killua is unable to fight and help his friend Gong. So then we cut to this nigga Killua's match. He's going for his hunter's license, right? And this nigga goes and just kills the opponent for no reason, just because he's pissed off at his brother. So at this point, Killua ends up getting disqualified for killing his opponent, and he cannot get his hunter's license. So we cut back to where Killua's back at home, and he's getting tortured by his older brother, this big burly ass nigga, this sumo looking ass nigga, this Yokozuna looking ass nigga. And his brother is whipping the shit out of him like he's straight out of Django. This nigga is just getting beaten. And so we see this big burly dude get a phone call, and he turns around and tells Killua that his friends are in town. This nigga Killua goes so cold. He just breaks the chain that he was hanging by for like 3 weeks or something, and he goes, if you touch them, I will kill you. On some taken shit. Are we serious, Killua? You could have did that the whole time? And so we see his grandfather come in and tell Killua, all right, you're good to go. Get out of here, right? This nigga Killua pulls the other chain off and hops down and just leaves and says, I felt bad, so I was just letting you beat me up. Who the fuck does that? You that tough, Killua? So the next time we see this nigga doing crazy shit is later in the arc. Gets jumped by this nigga in a wheelchair and a dude that can't even open his eyes. So, you know, Killua comes in, saves the day. You know how he does, all right? It's what he does next that kind of made me go, what the fuck are we dealing with? We see this little nigga sneak into the Squinty Eyes room and put the chrome to this nigga's dome. I'm not even playing. This nigga looked like he stabbed them in the fucking head. And when we cut out, we see Killua cold, and he says, if you move, I'll kill you. If you use Nen, I'll kill you. And if you make a sound, oh, guess what? I'm finna fucking kill you. And so we cut back to the Squinty Eyed dude's face, and he is so sweating profusely, bro. He's tripping. And so Killua tells this man, open your eyes if you understand me. What eyes, my boy? That's so fucked up. He can't even open his eyes like that. And so Killua just scares the shit out of this guy. This guy has to leave town. Killua tells him if he doesn't leave town, he will kill him. And what does he do? He didn't show up for his next match. He left. He told the dudes he was working with, don't fuck with that nigga Killua. He is no joke. This nigga is a menace. So now it's time for Killua to pay a visit to the wheelchair bull. And so we see two niggas in the room plotting on Killua, saying, oh, we can handle him 2-on-1, a fair fight. And this nigga Killua pulls up, lets him know that he's there, and then literally appears on the windowsill behind them and scares the shit out of them. And he says, play by the rules. I'ma put you in a motherfucking casket. And so after he makes his message known, he calmly walks out and shuts the door behind him. And so the next match for the Hunter's exam is Killua versus the wheelchair guy. And we see this nigga Killua just dodging all of his shits, catches both of his whips. And so he starts getting electrocuted, right? Little did y'all know, Killua don't get affected by electricity. So this nigga launches the wheelchair guy into the air. And he tells him, it looks like you're gonna die from up there. You want me to catch you? And the guy's begging for his life. Yes, please catch me. And so Killua catches him, and he's still got the current going through his body, still holding the whips. And we see this nigga gets shocked. And so Killua wins the match. And as he's walking off, he tells him, now you know how it feels. As the guy is twitching on the ground. Okay, so now we cut all the way to the Chimera Ant arc, which is honestly one of the best arcs in the whole show. And we get to see one of the coldest niggas in the whole show, that nigga Kite. So now Killua and Gong are with Kite, and they're looking for the Chimera Ant hideout at this point. And the Chimera Ants are just basically bug-human hybrids. And they finally find the bunker in a cave. We see these niggas take on 3 different Chimera Ants one-on-one. And so we see Killua end up fighting the mosquito girl. And the first thing Killua does, as she reaches out for him, he cuts this bitch's arm off. But she had a backup plan. She shoots her stinger out of her mouth. By the way, this shit had hair on it. That shit was nasty. I ain't want nothing to do with that. So Killua dodges it, and she ends up stinging him with her actual poisonous stinger in his back. But when will these niggas learn? This nigga does not die. Nothing phases this man. He has an immunity to all poisons, and it looks like my boy's down for the count. And so as she looks away for just a second, we see the whole screen turn upside down. I said, what the fuck just happened? I thought my TV broke. And we pan out, and we see this lady's head is upside down. He just snapped this bitch's neck. As she's on her knees, he tells her, I got an immunity to poison, pimp, and slices the bitch's head off. He don't care at all. And so the next time we see this nigga Killua doing anything kind of crazy is when he's fighting this nigga Ramot, this rabbit human hybrid Chimera Ant. And so Killua was still dealing with his brother Illumi's spell that he put on him. And so he finally senses the needle in his brain that Illumi put there to put him under a spell to make him hesitate whenever fighting. And he rips that shit out. And once he wipes his forehead off, he tells Ramot, go let everybody else know that if they fuck with me or Gong, they're gonna die. And Ramot protests, and what does this nigga do? He runs by him, rips this nigga's head off, palms it like a basketball, and crushes it in his hand while his body is still standing. This nigga's like 12. And so I just wanted to show you all this nigga in Godspeed too, just so everybody knows that this nigga is not a joke. And so after this, we cut to Killua and Knuckle fighting this big red monster. His name is Yuppie. So Killua pulls out his Godspeed and starts mixing this man up, giving him the hands, bop, 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 bing, bing, bing. And Yuppie's like, what the fuck? Yuppie can't even do anything at this point. And so we end up seeing Killua run out of his Godspeed and was like, all right, time to run. So Yuppie ends up, he's not too badly injured, but I just loved this scene because when he goes into Godspeed, he starts running the hands on this nigga. So I don't know what else more to tell y'all. This little nigga is a menace. He will slice and dice your head off for no reason. He is the embodiment of an assassin. He will end your life and no one will know.